The Red Book by Carl Jung, Chapter 4. On the Service of the Soul. On the following night, I had to write down all of the dreams that I could recollect, true to their wording. He's referring to a date in 1913, November 15th, where he references the Black Book number 2. Jung wrote down here that there were two pivotal dreams he had when he was 19 years old, which led him to turn to natural science. They are described in the memories. The meaning of this act was dark to me. Why all of this? Forgive the fuss that rises in me. Yet you want me to do this. What strange things are happening to me. I know too much not to see on what swaying bridges I go. Where are you leading me? Forgive my excessive apprehension, brimful of knowledge. My foot hesitates to follow you. Into what mist and darkness does your path lead? Must I also learn to do without meaning? If this is what you demand, then so be it. This hour belongs to you. What is there where there is no meaning? Only nonsense or madness, it seems to me. Is there also a supreme meaning? Is that your meaning, my soul? I limp after you on crutches of understanding. I am a man and you stride like a god. What torture! I must return to myself, to my smallest things. I saw the things of my soul as small, pitiably small. You force me to see them as large, to make them large. Is that your aim? I follow, but it terrifies me. Hear my doubts, otherwise I cannot follow. Since your meaning is a supreme meaning, and your steps are the steps of God. I understand. I must not think either. Should thought too no longer be? I should give myself completely into your hands. But who are you? I do not trust you. Not once to trust. Is that my love for you, my joy in you? Do I trust every valiant man and not you, my soul? Your hand lies heavy on me, but I will. Have I not sought to love men and to trust them? And should I not do this with you? Forget my doubts. I know it is ignoble to doubt you. You know how difficult it is for me to set aside the beggar's pride? I take it in my own thought. I forgot that you are also one of my friends, and have the first right to my trust. Should what I give them not belong to you? I recognize my injustice. It seems to me that I despised you. My joy at finding you again was not genuine. I also recognize that the scornful laughter in me was right. I must learn to love you. In Black Book number 2, you noted, here someone stands beside me and whispers terrible things into my ear. You write to be printed and circulated among people. You want to cause a stir through the unusual. Nietzsche did this better than you. You are intimidating St. Augustine. The reference is to Augustine's Confessions, a devotional work written when he was 45 years old, in which he narrates his conversion to Christianity in an autobiographical form. The Confessions are addressed to God and recount the years of his wandering from God and the manner of his return. Echoing this, Jung frequently cited Augustine and referred to his confessions several times in the transformations and symbols of the libido. Should I also set aside self-judgment? I am afraid. Then the soul spoke to me and said, this fear testifies against me. It is true, it testifies against you. It kills the holy trust between you and me. How hard is fate? If you take a step towards your soul, you will at first miss the meaning. You will believe that you have sunk into meaninglessness, into eternal disorder, and you will be right. Nothing will deliver you from disorder and meaninglessness, since this is the other half of the world. Your God is a child, so long as you are not childlike. Is the child order meaning or disorder? Disorder and meaninglessness are the mother of order and meaning. Order and meaning are things that have become and are no longer becoming. You open the gates of the soul to let the dark flood of chaos flow into your order and meaning. If you marry the ordered to the chaos, you produce the divine child, the supreme meaning beyond meaning and meaninglessness. You are afraid to open the door. I too was afraid, since we had forgotten that God is terrible. Christ taught, God is love. This was in the first letter of John. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in him. But you should know that love is also terrible. I spoke to a loving soul, and as I drew nearer to her, I was overcome by horror, and I heaped up a wall of doubt, and did not anticipate that I thus wanted to protect myself from my fearful soul. You dread the depths. It should horrify you, since the way of what is to come leads through it. You must endure the temptation of fear and doubt, and at the same time acknowledge to the bone that your fear is justified and your doubt is reasonable. How otherwise could it be true, a true temptation and a true overcoming? I'm going to read that again. How otherwise could it be true temptation and a true overcoming? Christ totally overcomes the temptation of the devil, but not the temptation of God to good and reason. Christ was tempted by the devil for 40 days in the desert. Christ thus succumbs to cursing. Matthew 21:18. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered, and when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it, and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on the henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? In 1944, Jung wrote, my Christian knows no curse formula. Indeed, he does not even sanction the cursing of the innocent fig tree by Rabbi Jesus. Why I have not adapted the Catholic truth. You still have to learn this, to succumb to no temptation, but to do everything of your own will. Then you will be free and beyond Christianity. I have had to recognize that I must submit to what I fear. Yes, even more, that I must even love what horrifies me. We must learn such from that saint who was disgusted by the plague infections. She drank the pus of plague bowls and became aware that it smelled like roses. The acts of a saint were not in vain. This draft continues, saying they may serve for your redemption. The acts of the saint were not in vain, and they may serve for your redemption. In everything regarding your salvation and the attainment of mercy, you are dependent on your soul. Thus, no sacrifice can be too great for you. If your virtues hinder you from your salvation, discard them, since they have become evil to you. The slave to virtue finds the way as little as the slave to vices. Nietzsche wrote, and even when one has all virtues, there is still one thing to remember, to send even these virtues to sleep at the proper time. Jung commented on the Eastern notion of liberation from virtues and vices in the commentary of the Tibetan Book of Great Liberation. If you believe that you are a master of your soul, then become her servant. If you were her servant, make yourself her master, since she needs to be ruled. These should be your first steps. During 6 further nights, the spirit of the depths were silent in me. Since I swayed between fear, defiance, nausea, and what was wholly the prey of my passion, I could not and did not want to listen to the depths. But on the 7th night, the spirit of the depths spoke to me. Look into your depths, pray to your depths, waken the dead. This is November 22nd, 1913 in the Black Book 2. The sentence reads, says a voice. On November 21st, Jung had given a presentation in Zurich Psychoanalytical Society on the formations of psychology of the unconscious. So it says a voice. I like that. So look into your depths, pray into your depths, waken the dead, says a voice. That's the voice inside of you right there. But I stood helpless, and I did not know what I could do. I looked into myself, and the only thing I found within was the memory of earlier dreams, all of which I wrote down without knowing what good this would do. I wanted to throw everything away and return to the light of day, but the Spirit stopped me and forced me back into myself. That was today's reading.